Hello, I'll be analyzing the long and controversial novel Atlas Shrugged by Russian-American author Ayn Rand, originally published on October 10, 1957. The edition I've got is a huge paperback by Plum Book Fiction, an imprint of Penguin Publishing Group, with an introduction by the writer, legal and intellectual heir, Leonard Peikoff. It is robust and a slow read. Atlas Shrugged is more than a novel. It is a 1,168-page manifesto, wrapped in a dystopian industrial procedural. It serves as the definitive exposition of objectivism, Rand's systematic philosophy. Its technical framework makes it function as a rigorous exercise in axiomatic logic. Rand constructs a world where the characters are archetypes of a specific epistemological and ethical stances. It contains metaphysics called objective reality, like the A is A principle. Rand asserts that reality exists independent of consciousness. In the book, the moochers, according to Rand, antagonists of human achievement, attempt to ignore physical laws and economic realities, leading to the systemic collapse of the infrastructure in a decadent nation. Her reason is reflected with the protagonists, Dagny Taggart and Hank Rearden, that operate solely on logic and sensory perception. The technical descriptions of Rearden metal, or the atmospheric static motor, represents the triumph of human intellect over raw matter. Ayn Rand conceives ethics as a rational self-interest, rejecting altruism as a moral imperative. She posits that the pursuit of one's own happiness is the highest moral purpose. This is represented by the oath of Galt. I swear by my life and my love of it, that I will never live for the sake of another man, nor ask another man to live for mine. Politically, Atlas Shrugged is a critique of collectivism, interventionism, and the mixed economy. It is against regulatory capture. Rand illustrates how government regulations like the Equalization of Opportunity Bill are rarely about fairness and often about cronyism. She accurately predicts how bureaucratic creep can stifle innovation by punishing the efficient to subsidize the inefficient. The book reflects aristocracy of capability. The atlas of the title refers to the thinkers and producers who hold the world on their shoulders. Rand advocates for laissez-faire capitalism in its purest form, a system where the state is separate from economics, just as it is from religion. While critics often dismiss Rand for her black and white morality and prose that can feel pedantic, a balanced review must acknowledge her profound insights into the psychology of achievement. It is controversial because of the sanctity of the producer. She was one of the few writers of her era to treat the industrialist, the engineer, and the inventor as heroic figures. She correctly identifies that every technological advancement we enjoy is the result of a specific human mind's refusal to conform to the status quo. Though her Galt's Gulch is a utopian abstraction, her warnings about the brain drain, the exodus of talent from restrictive environments like Venezuela since the year 2000 remain highly relevant in modern discussion regarding global competitiveness and overregulation. Even if one finds her rejection of charity extreme, her defense of earned merit provides a necessary counterweight to political systems that decouple effort from reward. While the novel's length and ideological rigidity can be daunting, its core defense of the sovereign intellect remains a vital piece of 20th century political theory. Rand doesn't just ask, "Who is John Galt?" She asks us to consider what happens to a world that loses its respect for the individual mind. Ayn Rand is arguably one of the most polarizing figures in modern intellectual history. The polarization doesn't just stem from her politics, but from her all-or-nothing approach to philosophy, which leaves very little room for neutral ground. She rejects the middle of the road, and as a result, the middle of the road usually rejects her. What makes Atlas Shrugged so enduringly fascinating, even for those who disagree with its politics, is that it functions as a massive, high-stakes thought experiment. It is a what-if scenario taken to its absolute extreme. The novel has a retro-futurist atmosphere. It's a world of transcontinental railroads, massive skyscrapers, and high-tech hidden valleys. Yet it feels like an alternate history of the 1940s or 50s. The book's ultimate lesson is a call to sovereignty. It asks you to be the master of your own life, to rely on your own judgment, and to never apologize for your own competence. It's radical self-reliance written in a monumental story. It concludes that a society must choose. It can either be a society of traitors or a society of thugs and victims. Rand's learning here is that the mind cannot function under the noose for the world to work. The Atlas, the thinkers, must be free to move without the weight of violence and oppression.
God only knows what I'd be without you. Oh, I may not always love you, but long as there are stars above you, you never need to doubt it. I'll make you so sure.